rise to the top, can't stop this flow. In the heart of the jungle, we're ready, let's go.
I kind of know a little bit about
In the
you
heart
already,
of
so.
the jungle, we're ready.
So yeah, I was watching some of your guys' podcasts over the last few days.
Cool.
But so I'm Dominic Nugent. I grew up here in Salt Lake, lived out in South Jordan and Holiday. I went to Olympus High School, graduated in 2021, and then I graduated and kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I ended up going out to ASU for a couple years. Went out there alone, didn't visit before, just kind of went for it. And
What'd you study while you were out there?
business communication.
Okay.
Which was a huge reason on why I actually ended up stopping. It's like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't specific enough for me. Like, it's way too broad. Like, who's looking for a business communication major? And at the time, I was working at a restaurant making more than entry-level jobs for business communication. So I'm like, okay.
Isn't it crazy how that always works out, though?
Well, yeah, it's wild. And then even everybody that, like, I mean, not that it was interesting. All of the people I worked with, like finance degrees and all these things, I'm like, well, what are you guys going to do? They're like, well, we're just working here to pay off our debt. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Glad you went to college.
Yeah.
But, so that was a huge factor for me. Like, why am I going to go and graduate with thousands of other people and go and compete, go get a job to then learn the skills? I was like, why? Like, let me just start now. So I started looking for opportunities for growth, was applying to tons of jobs online, and ended up getting a ton of offers for insurance agencies, to life insurance, trucking insurance, and had a handful of offers, and actually received one and I was applying to jobs in Arizona and in Utah. And
Okay.
I received an offer to work for selling windows up in Salt Lake. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And I actually accepted it verbally and told them all the things. And then 2 days later, they got all weird, told me it was done. And I was like, okay, well, time to
never
find
mind.
something else. Yeah. And then at the time, my whole thing was like, I don't care if I don't have a base. Like, I'm cool with no floor, but I want the sky to be the limit. Like, I want to be paid for the amount of effort I put in. Like, I was working just as hard or harder than the guy next to me and being paid the same. Like, I didn't like the idea of that. So actually my dad was out with the owner of Experience Roofing, where I'm working at now. They've been buddies forever, and actually grew up going on family vacations with them. And
Oh, nice.
it's like, have Dom come work with me. So I went out with one of his guys for a day, and
Cool.
started knocking doors after said yes. And that's where I've been for the last couple of years.
How was your experience with the knocking door stuff, man? Because I know that stuff can be
Brutal.
it's a brutal thing, but it's a lot of learning experience, I'm sure. So how did you do with that, man? That's got a pretty rough, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, I really didn't it took me 30 days to finally ultimately say yes. Cause I'm sitting here debating do I look for something else? And I was like, you know what? And at the time I told myself, I'm like, 3 months. Like, if I can, I'm going to do my very best for 3 months. And if it goes great, awesome. And if not, then I'll transition. So, I mean, I've been there longer than 3 months, but yeah, lots of challenges and that came with it. But it's amazing to me that I can go and knock on somebody's door and it results in tens of thousands in revenue of roof replacement or solar, whatever people are doing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is it hard to get over the rejection part?
I mean,
'Cause I know that holds up a lot of people usually. That's like the fear.
yeah.
Like just people telling me no or being rude to you. I don't know. I'm sure you experience it here and there, but
So
did you ever think about that when you were started? You were like, do you have fear about that at all?
I've had moments, yes,
Okay.
but what ultimately I've come back to overcome that is, well, I set a goal at the beginning, my determination from the beginning, and whether it's hard or not, I still have, I see where the finish line is at, so I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna keep going. And it came from the frame and the goals that I set at the beginning.
So how did you, I mean, we're just going to keep going here,
Okay.
but how did you ever get into that mindset? Because at 22, that was nowhere near what was on my mind. I was freshly married and everything, but that was not even close. How did you even get to that mindset to set those goals?
Well, it kind of, so, I mean, and you guys talked to my dad too, and heard his story, and
Yeah, I was going to say.
yeah, so I mean, for the people watching, go and listen to his podcast and you'll get more background. But I grew up in a family like we were well off. There are people that have a ton of money. We didn't I mean, I guess that's all relative, but we had a boat, we had nice house, trucks, all the things. So I got a taste of taste of the good
Taste
stuff.
of the good life.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is sweet. And then like in an instant, it kind of all disappeared. So I was like, okay, well, like I want that again. Like, what are you talking about? I want to go boating on the weekends. I want to do X, Y, and Z. And now it's like, okay, in the back of my mind, like I always wanted to do my own thing. Like I didn't want to grow up and just go and do my dad's business. And like, I wanted to do my own thing. Once that all happened though, it's like almost like subconsciously there was a safety net and that just got stripped away. So it's like, oh, okay, it's time to go. And this was all like when that happened was all at the time of me deciding I was done with school. Like I remember looking like, filling out my classes for my next semester and like, what am I like just reading them. And like, I wasn't even being challenged in any of my classes. There was, like my business statistics class, I went to 3 times in a semester and still passed it. It's like, why?
It's terrible.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. So, I like being challenged. I wanted to be challenged. So putting myself in positions of that. And with every challenge, there's a reward. So I like the rewards and I like the challenges.
So I take it you learned a lot of that from your dad then.
Yeah, a good amount. I think a lot of it came from the situation. And, I believe I was gifted with awareness. Like I really do feel very aware around certain things, which I'm very grateful for. I'm the oldest of 4 boys, so that I think that plays into it. My upbringing, a lot of that, and then also through my dad, I learned a lot through him as well.
So I do want to go back because you said something at the beginning when you were talking to your dad on his about you guys were talking about when he went through the divorce, and you were 15, if I remember right, when it started. And the one thing that caught me like right off the bat was where you're like, I could see it from a mile away.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you knew it was coming, which I don't know if your dad did or not, but how could you tell? I mean, you were probably 13, 14 when everything started to really happen, right? Mm-hmm. And then by 15, it was officially time to divorce. How did you see that coming for one? And then how did you manage that as a teenage kid?
Well, I mean, my parents' relationship, from what I remember, was never super solid. Like it wasn't like, and maybe it came to comparison with other people.
Okay.
That I know. I mean, my dad was sleeping on the couch upstairs for some time, and then they'd bounce back and forth. Like he almost moved out, they almost ended it, then they got back together. Like it was just at that point, I just saw there were all of these different moments where I thought it was happening and then it didn't. So then it's like, okay, well, it's eventually got to, is what was in my mind.
So you just kind of geared yourself up for it.
Yeah, I was
going to happen.
Kind of geared for it. And I have, like I don't know, a few of my close friends, like their parents had all gone through divorce too. So I think that played into it. And, I remember, I was laughing, like when my parents did get divorced, they're like, welcome to the broken family squad. And like, we were laughing, like it wasn't negative or anything. And I'm super, super grateful for the divorce, because the way that things are now are a million times better than they were previously.
I was going to say, just from some of the things your dad has said, like being able to co-parent, and they're better friends now than they ever were. So
Yeah.
that seems like it's helped the whole family a lot. Did you ever resent your mom or your dad during those times?
There was a period of time that I was pretty bothered. Yeah, I just ended up in the middle of a lot of things, and a lot of what felt like unnecessary drama. And like growing up in Holiday Olympus, everybody likes to talk. They go to the football games and everybody talks, and there's a lot of talking that was unnecessary, and things were getting blown way out of proportion. Like the longest game of telephone, it's like, whoa, like that was crazy. Like there were people who were like, and then things got blown out of proportion that like my dad was giving us drugs. Like some kid goes, I thought you were doing meth. I'm like, what are you, like, where are you guys even getting this idea from? Like, well, like, so that bothered me, and that came from the divorce and talking, and I mean, several other people involved. I don't think that there's one person that you can place any of that blame on, and it's just the situation and something that came out of one end of it.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. I mean, so my daughter's from a split home, so you know, she's from another marriage, and she's kind of, I don't think she, I mean, it was very, in a very young age, but I always wonder kind of how kids can, you know, sometimes take, you know, here, like they'll take is it my fault, or was it something that I did? Did you ever run through those types of scenarios in your head, or because a lot of the stuff was happening in front of you, you kind of could like you could see that and be like, it's not really my situation. It's something that they're dealing with. Did you place blame on yourself, I guess, is the ultimate question.
No, not really.
Good.
I personally didn't. I can't speak for my brothers. I don't know if they did, honestly, but I didn't see it. I mean, I was always a pretty good kid. I'd fight with my brothers for sure. Like we would get into it, but besides that, like I stayed pretty in line. Like I didn't feel that there was any of that blame that came to me.
That's good.
So, and another thing that caught me is you are the oldest, and you were saying your youngest brother had the hardest time. Did you feel like when at times you had to step up as the parent in those situations, like helping your little brother out while your dad was kind of going through his stuff, or your mom was going through their stuff? Or did you ever have that feeling at all?
Maybe a little bit. I think that I felt a little more pressure and more responsibility, like of being a leader in a sense, like because my youngest brother would, I mean, I'm pretty positive my dad shared it, but like would cry, like wouldn't want to go over to his house, wouldn't want to do like crying and bawling, and it's like, you don't even. Well, and I guess what's challenging is now it's like, I mean, you grew up in this house, all my stuff's there, and now there's another place that we're going and visiting. Like I would prefer my room where I stayed at my mom's house. Like I liked it. Not that I didn't like going to my dad's house, but like if I'm going to sleep, like I want to go and sleep in the bed that I've been sleeping in. It's more comfortable. So there were some times where it's like, oh, I don't want to go sleep there, but it's like, I'm not, like, you guys aren't going to know that I don't want to. Let's go. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And just speaking the positivity into it, like it's fine. We got to go spend time with Dad. It's a positive thing.
That's good. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit and kind of transition into some of the positive stuff, because I know in the podcast that we listened to with your dad and you, that you talked about you guys being very transparent, and you started building that transparency with him, and you talked about check-ins with him. How long did that process take? And you might have hit on it on this podcast, but how long did that process take? And then how, is it something that you and him came up together, something that you came up and were like, we should start building this trust? Because I can see it's got to be hard to kind of see all that happen and then still have that transparency with your dad. How did that kind of come about?
So he initiated it, and he had shared it through like our circle of trust, where I was going through, looking through the cabinets and found alcohol. And I mean, we grew up Mormon and I didn't care. But I'd asked him like, oh, you still going to tell me you don't drink? And then we ended up talking, and then he's like, all right, let's open it up. I mean, and that was when it like initiated and we started being more transparent. And I mean, just over time, like I'm not, I mean, maybe when I was younger, but like since then, like if you would ask me a question, for the most part, most of the time, like I'm 100% transparent, but I wasn't always sharing as much and initiating it. So, I mean, it took some time. Like now, like if I, like now we're in a spot, like I could go and share whatever I wanted with my dad. And it took some years and me growing up too, because at the time I was, I don't know, 16, 17. So just my own maturity has grown. So there are a few factors in that.
As a father, what can a father or a parent do to help build that? Like help, like not build it, but like enable that from a kid's perspective, or not you're a kid, but from a child's perspective, from a father to a child.
Take away the threats. Like so many. I mean, I know several people who had parents who were so strict, like in all of these threatenings, and it's like, well, they're going to do it anyway, whether you threaten them or not. And it's said just like having a conversation and asking questions instead of like attacking and like, oh, you're whatever, getting caught. Like even if it's sneaking out, like maybe asking why, like just asking questions instead of just immediately making assumptions on whatever you're doing. Like there were times like I would go, I mean, I didn't really have a super strict curfew, which was nice, but like to sneak out, if you will, or friends that would. But it's not like we were out drinking or doing something. We were just messing around, like running around, doing whatever and just laughing and having fun. And I think that a lot of parents, if you're sneaking out, all of a sudden, oh, you're doing drugs, you're drinking X, Y, and Z. And that's not always the case.
Definitely was when I was gay.
Yeah.
So
Well, in some cases,
Yeah.
it is. I'm not saying it's not. It's always the other situation, but
Maybe not just jumping to that conclusion and
Yeah.
coming in with those heavy threats sometimes. I think as parents, sometimes maybe we explode a little bit or get too ahead of ourselves, and then sometimes I guess it's better just to slow down and ask those questions of why, like you said, is why is that happening? Why did you decide to do that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
it's something. I mean, we're both fathers, and so it's something we're both working on, and so it's awesome to hear your side, whereas we've heard your dad's, and now we're kind of hearing yours. Like what was great about it. So that's awesome to hear. Was the alcohol the first thing that you guys like really started with the circle of trust? Like when he found that, I still laugh when I hear that on his podcast.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, we were pretty transparent before. Like if I would have been asked questions, I would answer, but I wasn't always super sharing it. But I also wasn't doing like I was saying, like I was for the most part pretty in line and wasn't doing anything crazy at that time. But that is what really initiated it and opened it up. And then he started sharing more about other stuff that was going on in his life and everything like that.
Can you remember a time or something that was hard to like be, you don't have to share it with specifically, but something that you remember you can go back to say, this was hard to share, but it was well worth it to talk it through with my dad?
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
so. Like around that time,
Yeah.
like I had a conversation which it hurt a little bit to tell him.
Yeah.
And it was like it ended up being fine and nothing negative. Like had I told him the outcome of whatever we were looking for didn't change, but it was nice that I was able to share certain things with him and wasn't now grounded for 2 weeks or
Yeah.
threatened with whatever. Because I mean, at the same time, and even going back to that, like I've caught myself with my brothers, like, and actually my younger brother Cole, who works with me, like even in work stuff, like because when I started, like just trial and error, like, oh, okay, I messed up, I lost this deal, or okay, that cost me money out of my own pocket, and it's a lesson that I've learned, and now I'm not ever going to make that mistake again. But now I've gone and tried to help my brother through these certain things, because it's like, oh, I know what to do, but I end up then taking away the opportunity from him from being able to learn it himself. So I think that then that's something that I appreciate with my parents, because like my dad for a long time was pretty strict, but then kind of everything was loose, which I'm saying, like I wasn't allowed to listen to explicit music. I couldn't, like dumb things, but then we were watching rated R movies and it was fine. Like it was very interesting. But what I'm getting to is once I had a little bit more freedom, then it's like, okay, I'm learning on my own instead of having somebody try and put me into the lane that they want me to be in and learn their way, because now I'm missing out on all of these other opportunities to learn a lesson.
From a parent standpoint, do you feel like as a child that helped you tremendously to learn these mistakes and have your dad, instead of going there and being like, well, I'm just gonna throw like petty theft, like stealing a candy bar from 7-Eleven out there, instead of going and like reprimanding you and grounding you and making you take it back, just take it back and like have a conversation like, hey, you don't take from them because that's how they make money. Do you think that helped you a lot by being able to make the mistakes and them not be as harsh on their punishments?
I think, well, I'd say so. Like if I were to go and take a candy bar, like my consequences from that is I would feel guilty about it. I'm going to sit there and feel all bad about it. So if they want to go and ground me, like, okay, like I'd take the grounding over feeling guilty about taking the candy bar any day. So, but that, oh no, I'd
Terrible example, but
well, no, I see what you're saying though. And overall, I'd say yes, it's helpful, but it also then creates this thing where it's like, well, now there are no clear borders. Like what can I do and what can't I do? So then it it's, I mean, there's a fine line.
But do you think that helped your judgment in the end? That you could judge something and say, okay, yeah, that might not be the best choice for me to make today.
Yeah.
Whether it's because I'm going to feel guilty or because I'm going to disappoint my parents, you have the choice to say, okay, I'm not going to take that road, versus whereas you're so strict that you're like, I'm going to see what happens over here.
Yeah.
I think that helped you in the end, where now you have more of that awareness that you were talking about, that you're more aware to say, okay, that's not a very great decision.
Yeah.
Being that my parents helped guide me, but not at the same time. It's a weird, I don't know if you understand, but.
No, I do. And I agree with you. Yeah. Cause it's like, okay, you have a choice and you see the consequences of both of them. But if you're trying to force me into this way, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go see what's over here. And especially me, it's like, don't tell me what to do, because I'll do it the other way. And then if it doesn't work, then I'll listen. But
No, I totally get that. Yeah, I can agree with that, because I grew up without a father, and so all my lessons were learned on my own, and I can see how that can benefit somebody, because I think that's one of my greatest advantages, that I learned a lot of the stuff on my own. And you have some dads that are great fathers, and they're sometimes miles ahead of where I am, because they're learning those lessons at an early age. I think it's a good balance. I honestly do. It's like you have to have that parent to kind of maybe be that barrier on the side that's going to keep you in a certain range and not let you go way overboard, but you have a wide enough range where you're still making your own mistakes and you're learning through your own opportunities. I think that's really cool. One thing we had Jeremy, shout out to Jeremy, my barber that owns the Fellas. We had him on, and I think he's a little bit older than you, just a little bit. But I'm starting to see this trend of a lot of, maybe not a trend, but of an ideal of these, younger guys, like you say you're 22. I think he's in his early 20s as well. Just more entrepreneur, more go-getters at a way earlier age than I would say any of our generation. Are you seeing that a lot with your friends? And I mean, I'm sure with the circles you're around, you're definitely seeing it. But did you see that as well, as kind of in your age range, of kids just really wanting more out of life than just going to 9 to 5, and they have a floor, but the ceiling is as high as you want to take it. Are you seeing that much?
Not as many as I'd like to see.
Okay.
Yeah. Not so much. And that was actually, again, when I moved back to Utah, was a huge part of it, because a lot of the people and circles I was around in Arizona, there was a reason to drink and go out and do whatever you want every day. And then it's like, oh yeah, we'll take care of it later. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't see that road going very far. Right. So I just transitioned quickly.
How long did you play that party scene for?
Year and a half.
So not that long.
No, not crazy long. It was mainly like towards the end of high school, like I was having fun that summer, that summer after high school I was, and then going into college, ASU. So what, 2023 to, no, I'm 2021 to like the beginning of 2020 or 2020. I don't know, like a year and a half. I'm getting my months mixed up. Yeah.
Well, that whole time's just a disaster from 2020. So we don't blame you.
Yeah.
How was it watching your dad go through the downfall?
It was challenging in lots of ways, and saw lots of new sides of him and that I hadn't seen before. I don't know. Yeah, it was hard to watch him filling town about all of the things, and this business that he'd built, put all of his time and effort to for the last 20 years, just gone. So lots of challenges, but I know he is too. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're grateful for it, because it's his tagline, freedom's in the fire. It's the rebirth. So what's coming is really good.
Who do you think it was hardest for out of your family once all the toys started disappearing? Because you said you like to go to the lake and everything. Was it hard to look at your dad and be like, well, I want to go to the lake this weekend?
Yeah, it was hard. But for me, it's like,
did you understand why the stuff was going away? I guess.
Yeah, I understood. It made sense. I mean, I felt frustrated about it, but it was also just looking at it from a very logical standpoint. Like, well, let's just go buy another. Let's go work and buy another. It's fine.
I still am having, because I'm 34, and my mind at that age was nowhere near where yours was. So it's hard for me to understand, but it's so awesome that you had that logical thinking enough at that age. Just be like, well, I guess we got to go work harder, Dad. Let's go. Like, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
So props to you for even having that mindset. Cause mine, like I said, was nowhere near that. I was worried about spending time with my girlfriend or whatever, not think logically about losing this or that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So that's pretty awesome. I want to talk about your, like, checking your dad.
Mm-hmm.
How, I know he said you're pretty abrupt sometimes.
Yeah.
And how did you guys go about setting that up? Was it just something that one day you're like, no, you told me you were going to do that? Or was it something you guys like sat down and were talking about and he's like, look, I want you to hold me accountable?
It's been both. So like I won't, like, especially in my family, if somebody's close to me, like I will not put up with excuses. Like if you're trying to put up with the reason or X, Y, and Z, it's like I don't care. So you could have. I don't like, also like I'm not gonna just
Harp on him.
I mean, but sometimes I do. So, but like I'm not. But my goal wouldn't be to like make someone feel all terrible about it or put you down. But it's like, no, look at this is what you could have done, or this is what you said you're going to do. Like, let's do it. Like, because these are our goals, and if we want to get there, then we have to do X, Y, and Z to get there. So I started calling my dad out on certain things, like, because if he said he's gonna, like, he'll tell me, like, because people talk about their goals all the time, and then, like, especially with my dad, because I live with him, so we'll share, and then he'll tell me something, and then I'm like, well, what's going on? You told me this. He's like, oh, well, this. I'm like, okay, well, you told me you were going to, so when are you gonna start? Like, or, like, when, like, what's going on? So it started with me just kind of initially doing that, but we've also had several conversations, and he's like, I want you to keep checking me, keep telling me, keep checking me.
Do you do the same for your mom and your brothers?
Not as much. Not as much, no. I will with my younger brothers for sure. I mean, I guess I only have younger brothers. It's just not as much. If they were telling me or sharing more about what they were wanting to do and then not doing it, I for sure would. But they're not. I don't know. They're also 2 to 6 years younger than me, so
I say one just graduated.
Yeah,
I saw that. And then I think you still have one more in school then?
one more who's 14.
Okay. So I want to switch a little bit. Relationship with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start. We're going to go back a little bit. Let's start like 13, 14, like when you were seeing the divorce start to come about. How was your relationship with your mom?
Not great, honestly.
No?
No, not so much. I didn't.
So I got a question while you're thinking
yeah,
here. Did you put more blame on your mom or your dad?
probably my mom.
Okay. And I could sense that from the way you said that, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, which, yeah, there was more talking, and there was more, like, I heard more about it from my mom, and I heard less from my dad. Like, I was being told more bad things from my mom, which then in turn I'm like, well, why are you telling me all this bad stuff about my dad, or blaming me for certain things? Like, there was one time, she'd actually just gotten in a car crash. She was making a left turn, and this lady was driving behind her, and then tried to pass her on the left side, drive on the wrong side of the road, and like T-boned her. So I went to go and help her. I was in my dad's truck, and my client had gifted him like and this was before he was even drinking, so I don't even know why. Like, I don't know. The client gifted him basically a little shooter or something, and then I go to help my mom, like going to pick her up, and then she's like digging through my dad's truck, like I don't know what she's looking for, and then she pulls it out and just starts accusing me of drinking. I'm like, I'm not, like, this is not me. What you talking about? I was like 16, 17, and just there was a lot of blame and assumptions that just immediately went there. I'm like, I'm not doing this, and then going back to what I was saying, like no questions were asked. Like, hey, is this yours? Like, what's going on? And that was a heightened emotion situation. There was just a car crash. Like in hindsight, like I get it. I get where she was coming from, but like stuff like that would happen on multiple occasions, and I was just feeling frustrated. And I got in a car crash. I guess it's the car crash stories, but I got in a car crash once and came home. I don't know, it was later. I'd just gone to dinner with my dad, and we were chatting. And I didn't end up telling my mom when I got home about it. And she came in and woke me up early the next morning. She's like, "Were you out drunk drinking?" And I was like, "No, like I'd never even drank at this point," and just getting accused of drinking and like all of these certain things. I'm like, that hasn't ever been me. And it wasn't at the time, which was 100% the truth. So that felt very frustrating. So in my mind, I'm like, why it really made it challenging for me to want to like mend a relationship with her.
Do you think she put a lot of blame on you just because you were closer to your dad?
Probably. That would be my assumption, that there was maybe some resentment there that I was picking a side, and I didn't necessarily have. I mean, I wouldn't want to say I chose a side, but like I tended to lean more towards my dad, because there was a lot of times where it was just pure accountability that he was taking. Like, oh, I did this. So it's like, okay, well, I like hearing that, instead of having you tell me everything that my mom did wrong.
How long did it take you to mend that relationship, do you think? Or have you fully mended it?
Yeah.
I guess let's start there. Have you fully mended it?
I think that there's always room for improvement in everything. Like even my relationship with my dad, brothers, mom, like, but from where we were at to where we are now is exponentially better. Yes.
What, and maybe you don't want to talk about it, but what kind of changes did you see changes in her that you were like, okay, I can lean more towards her? Or was it just you guys being able to talk more once you started being more open with your dad?
Both. I think my mom had an issue with drinking, and I think because of her upbringing, other family members. So like when I was out in Arizona and I was drinking, she had issues with it, but eventually I think she just like, I mean,
she accepted who you were.
She accepted it, and it's like I haven't drank in the last, like, it's been well over 6 months. Like it's not really my thing as much, but I think that there was acceptance, and then she's done some work herself and generally feels a lot happier too. So it's
easier to be
it's
around
easier,
her.
But also like I've done my own work, and it's like, whatever, I can put whatever resentment or whatever I've had in the past. Like let's talk about what's next.
Your greatest growth, where did it come from? Because you talk about doing the gym, cold plunges, ayahuasca. Where do you think your biggest growth came from, or comes from still?
Well, I think that could be answered in multiple ways, but I would say consistency.
I like it.
Consistency for sure, but it's being consistent in all of those areas and continually getting better. But ayahuasca for sure has been a huge pillar in my life. It's like you picture, like, and I had this in the medicine journey. Like you picture like a little rocket ship going through space, and it's kind of like kind of moving around up and down, but like not on a seamless path. Like for me, ayahuasca is like you take boosters and you strap it to the ship, and it's just like straight shot, seamless, like a bullet train.
You still had a lot of work to do though, right? Because I think a lot of people think that ayahuasca is like this miracle thing that you just take it and then it's like, oh, I'm better. But everybody that I've talked to that's ever done it, I was like, there's a whole path. There's a whole after the process thing that you have to really be committed and consistent to do. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, the real work starts when you're done. Like some of the most challenging moments I've had have been in the medicine space, but yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Then you get like, you can see the finish line, you can see the end goal, and then you're like, okay, now in order for me to get there, I have to do X, Y, and Z. So it's nice. For me, it's built a lot of confidence, but that coupled with then doing the work and seeing the results. So in short, yes.
That's cool. Yeah. You do the cold plunges. Are you still doing those pretty consistent?
Yeah, I've been in St. Louis the last little bit, so I haven't in the last couple weeks.
Okay.
But
Before that?
but yeah, I didn't do one today, but it's on my list to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's something that, because I was doing them when this, I don't have mine's not treated and kind of cooled all year, so I do it during the winters. But what's something that you get out of it? Because I think until you do them consistently, you can see those. There's certain things that I've talked with him about it as far as like phases, like a 1 minute phase, 2 minute, 3 minutes, and then like there's certain barriers where you start really just, okay, I'm past this, and then everything else is just cake. For me, it was always the first minute.
Yeah.
First minute, it's like your mind's running through your mind. Get out. Why are you doing this? It's stupid. And then after that, it was like, okay. And then you kind of start learning those things about you. Like, this is where I want to quit. These are the areas where I really want to stop. Have you seen that not only with cold plunges, but workouts, with all the other stuff that you're doing? Have you been so aware that you're like, this is where my mind always wants to give up on me?
Before I even start, always the hardest part's getting in. Like once I get in, like, cause which even going back to talking about door to door, I usually do 2 minutes, sometimes 3, 2.5, whatever it may be. But like, once I get in, I'm not getting out.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm getting out. I'm not going to, no way. But so that's getting in is always the most challenging part. And I think that for most people, it probably is as well. It's just starting. It's the initial.
That overthinking part, right? Where you're like, oh, but you're like, I've done, I think sometimes soon you can maybe speak to that too, is where when you're about to get in, you're like, wait, I did this yesterday. I did this last week, whatever it might be. I know what to expect, but it's still in the back of your head, this little voice like, do you really want to do that? Like, is it really worth it? It's going to suck. But then you get in and it's like, okay. You get a little bit of that boost of that confidence. Like, okay, I did what I said I was going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you ever end up craving them when you haven't had them? Because how long were you in St. Louis, first of all?
The 19th to the 30th. So yeah. So 10-ish, 11 days.
For those first couple of days, were you like, man, I wish I had a cold plunge? Because you're dealing with something kind of crazy out there. Like you said, the tornado came through and bad weather, all this stuff. So you're dealing with something pretty intense, I guess. You're dealing with people that are tragic. You know, does that make you want to be like, I just need a good cold plunge or a good workout?
I was still in the gym out there, which was nice, but yes, and also I was choosing to appreciate my break from cold plunges. I was like, sweet, I'm going to enjoy this because I do it. I mean, 7 days a week, and did for, like a year and a half that I've been consistently doing it. So if I go out out of town for a weekend or for this, yes, it would be nice to have one, and also I choose to appreciate the few days that I'm not doing it.
Can you hit on that? Because I think it's important. I think that we've talked about this. Like sometimes it's not a reward, but it's like just taking that little bit of break. And you hear, Goggins is like a big guy that I got into in the very beginning, and it's like he talks about like no days off, all the way in, always 365. I think there's a good balance in that. I think definitely that can help in a certain period of life, but it sounds like, you appreciate those days off, that's time where you maybe get a little bit of rest. And just, where does that come from? And is it from maybe a mindset of like to test yourself almost, to be like, I could take a break and get right back on it? Is that kind of where it comes from, or where does that break fall into for you?
Well, resting like that, I can, from the cold plunge, I can do it, but like rest in general, it's actually it's challenging for me to do. Like Sundays are challenging days for me, because it's like, I could go and work, but 99% of what I do is communication, and most people aren't as open to a phone call or to working on Sundays. So that's a practice I've been working on, is taking the moments for rest, because it's something for me that gets put on the back burner. So, okay. But I do, like, I love the no days off and everything like that, but I've had moments where it's like, okay, I'm intentionally taking this week off from the gym, and I'm going to sleep a little bit longer because I could use it. Right.
Yeah, I love that. Now, so obviously, so you're working out 6 days a week?
Yeah.
Okay. What's something that you learned at the gym that door to door hasn't like showed you? Because door to door, I think, is a very hard. I think it's a hard profession, but
I think it's true. I feel better when I move. I feel better when I work out. Like some of the hardest parts of my days are from when my alarm goes off to like halfway through the gym. It's like I wake up, I just want to go back to sleep. Like getting out of bed has been challenging for me. Like I've always been a night person. Like I do like waking up early, but I also
Don't go to bed till late.
yeah, I don't go to bed till late. So it's nice to sleep in, but once you get up and get going and halfway through a workout, then it's like, okay, I'm on. Like we're going. Like, and I think sometimes like most people aren't at the gym. Like I'm doing the work that nobody else is. I'm using this time to get ahead.
Do you have a gym partner? Do you go by yourself? How do you like to work out?
It depends. I go with my dad a lot of the
Go with your
times,
dad. Okay.
or alone. Sometimes my brother will come.
I was gonna say I'll randomly see the posts of you and him, or you guys finding your brother showing up later or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4 of us that go within like a 2 to 3 hour window.
So what time do you generally hit the gym?
It usually right around 7. Depends.
It's a hard. I mean, I say it's hard. I mean, I was doing like 4:30 in the morning for a while, and that was rough. But when you're used to waking up early, it's not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
But when you stay up till midnight, it sucks.
Yeah. 4:30 is no joke.
No, that's a rough time.
Yeah.
How long are your typical work days?
I go till it's done. It just depends. Like several days, I've had multiple days at 14 hours, 12 hours, but some days are 6 or 8. Like it just depends. I will set appointments. I mean, all day long. Like while we were out in St. Louis, like because we were knocking, so we would start around noon to like we'd get out to the area around noon, but we wouldn't get back to the house until like 10:30. We'd hit the gym before. So
You work a different life out there then.
yeah.
You're like noon. I'm like, man, that's halfway through my day.
Yeah. Well, we go when people are home. You got to knock when people are home. So
Yeah.
it's like 6 p.m. till 8:30. It's the best. I mean, people are home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this a company you work for?
Yes.
Okay. Do you plan on ever doing something on your own and kind of building your own company, or what's your like long-term goals with door to doors?
I do. So eventually, but I don't see myself leaving roofing anytime soon, but I definitely will not be roofing my whole life. No way. But I'm in a really good opportunity. The company has like 30, I don't know, less than 40 employees. I think when I joined, there was maybe 25 to 30. So it's a smaller growing company that I know the owners really well. So what I appreciate is I'm seeing how everything operates. I have a team of 9 guys right now. So I'm getting the opportunity to learn and build. And then when the time comes to be done with roofing, I will have built all of these skills. So I just get to hit I see it as I will be several steps ahead of people who are just starting out.
Do you feel like you've always been a leader? Because I can see that in you, but like you personally, do you see like yourself as I've always had to lead in whatever you've done?
Some things yes, other things no. Yeah, like I played rugby. Like I was team captain in rugby. I felt like it because I was confident in that I knew the game better than a lot of people. But like in football, no. Like I was not. Like I wasn't the greatest football player. So I understood my lane in certain things.
With your team now, so you have 9 guys. Are they about your age, older, younger, a mixture?
Most of them are pretty close. I mean, ranging from 19, and then there's one guy that's like 40.
How do you? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, which was harder for you to train? Do you think the 19-year-old or the 40-year-old?
They're different. They're different.
That's the answer I was looking for, honestly.
Yeah, it's different. Like I'm the guy who's about 40. I'm helping him with certain things on his phone, but like he's spent years communicating, talking to people, and then with the guys who are younger, it's more. I mean, they know phones, so it's more communication stuff. It's just there's different aspects.
What's your favorite part of being in that leadership role?
I really like, and a lot of these guys are new, so they have pipelines, so we're just waiting. But I like my brother not too long ago, who's on my team, just had his biggest check he's had a few weeks ago. So like that was fun to be able to help him get to that point. So I appreciate that, and helping teach people the how to go and create everything for themselves instead of showing up and clocking in.
Yeah, did you ever self-sabotage when you started this position to say, who am I to lead this team of 9 or whatever, whatever as you were expanding, like, did you ever have those doubts about yourself? Like, I'm going to lead these guys and they take full responsibility or accountability for the outcome of whatever they do.
I was brief, but for sure I was feeling a lot of pressure. Like, oh my, like, what if these guys aren't? What if they're not making money? Is this my fault? And I think to a certain degree, like, I want to take responsibility for what my guys produce, but also it is 100% up to them whether, like, I don't want to have to feel that. So I want to make sure that they get all of the tools and they have everything that they need to be successful. And if they want to go and build it themselves, awesome. You have had the opportunity, but it was up to you whether you did it or not. You can ask all the questions. I will help you, but I don't want to be a bottleneck for anybody trying to grow.
So essentially you give them the tools and you're like, okay, you've got everything that I know that I can provide. Now you choose to do with it what you want.
Yes. And like, I'm available. Like, I will answer a phone call, text. Like, if I can't, I will call my guys right back and make sure that they have what they need. So I just, like, I want to be a resource and support for questions, but like, kind of even going back to like parenting and help, like, I'm not, like, I don't want to hold everybody's hand through the whole process, because then you're not going to know how to do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's honestly, to me, that seems like a really strong leader.
Yeah.
Like, you're giving them everything that they can, and what they do with it is 100% their choice.
Yeah.
In being in communications within teams, have you found it's different to communicate with different people, and how you have to sometimes adapt your communication style or the way that you would coach or train somebody? Have you seen that difference yet in your teams? Like, okay, I can't talk to this person the same way like I talk to my dad. I'm more direct. Have you found that within your team? It's like, this person doesn't like that approach. This person have you seen that yet?
Yes, and I'm still learning. So I'm still learning with each individual, and everybody's going to be a little bit different. So
Yeah.
So yes and no, which is why, I don't know, I like people telling me, like, I want people to ask me questions, and I want you to ask me.
When you want the feedback, like, hey, that didn't work with me. It
Yeah.
sounds like.
For sure. And I will ask, like, even after, like, I'm done, I'm like, okay, does this make sense? Like, was this all received? And I don't like it when the answer is always yes, because I feel like it is. I'm like, okay, well, was it? Like, are you just telling me that because you want to know? Like, I want truthful, honest feedback so that I can help you be the most successful possible.
Are you receptive to the feedback?
Yeah, I'm pretty receptive.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I might question why, like, but I'm receptive.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that goes with anything, though. Feedback can be hard, and I mean your dad, once again. I mean, that the one you did with your dad, that he says sometimes you have to go sit with the consequences or sit with it. Which, I mean, that's fairly common. I think if you're willing to grow and lead, you have to be able to take that, and whether you are pissed at it at that moment, you have to realize where it's come from. That might take some time to think. So I can see that. I mean, it sounds like it sounds like you're a leader that I would be willing to work for. Like, if I was looking, that would be something that, you're wanting to learn, you're wanting to grow, you're wanting to be successful. You don't want a limit. You don't want to be like, you guys, I only go knock 10 doors. No, you want them knocking as many doors as they can in 2 hours.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No limits.
Yeah.
No
and
way.
That's awesome. I mean, coming from somebody that's worked for people for his entire life, like that's something that most people, I feel like, don't necessarily have, that they want. They just kind of want you to fill a role and be that role only. Mm-hmm. You sound like you want your guys to succeed. I'm sure at some point you would love to have your guys to have their own team, so you have an even bigger team to work, because in the end, you're helping them, which helps you. Mm-hmm. And helping you helps everybody.
So that's a good point. Like, how do you, in your leadership style, empower your people? And it doesn't have to be just work related, maybe your friends. How do you empower them to be leaders as well, and sometimes I think for myself as a young leader, I feel like I held that whole responsibility. And one of the biggest growths for me as I turned into in my maturity was like, actually, I want to develop other leaders. That's where my true strength is. That's where my true leadership style is really shown, is can leader turn other leaders into leaders and have them turn other leaders into leaders. It's like how do you do that? And how do you empower your teams or friends or whoever?
You know what? That's a really challenging question for me, because I think each person receives it different, like we were saying, and there's still a lot of learning. So for me, I think I would be very good at developing other people that are like me to leaders. Like, I'm proof. Like, you got to show me the proof. Like, if like I don't need to know all the details. Like my first questions, even when joining an experience, was how much is the top, like I want to know what the top guy's doing. Like, everybody else, I don't really care. And then it's like, okay, well, I know myself, like there's no way that I won't be within the top 20% within X amount of time. So I'll just go do it. So and again, this is what my belief is, but like, I would rather just show you that I'm doing it myself. And even that, it's like, I do not want somebody to tell me how to do something or what to do if they haven't done it themselves. So like, I want to go and just show you what's possible. I'll show you how to do it. And if you choose to, great. But otherwise, we'll find somebody else who sees the value and wants to do it for themselves.
So you want to lead by example.
Example.
You're like, I'm doing this. If I can do it, you can do it.
Asking questions too, and like setting the like what are your goals, like from the very beginning? Like, do you want to do this? Because if you don't, then like, why? Like, then I'm not gonna like
pour a lot into you.
Well, no, and it's going to be a very different relationship. Like, if I'm just if they're like, if I have someone come on my team and they're like, I don't want to build my own team, I just want to make money. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to like, what you're getting taught and told is going to be very different than this guy.
What were your goals then when you started that? What was the driving force? Because like you said, that's important. The why is important. Why you're doing stuff. Because without a dream or without a nightmare, you're not really going to, especially when it comes to sales or any type of career progression, if you don't have that solidified, that person that, it's going to come in, I'm just here to work my 8 hours. I'm just here to make my check and I'm going to go home. And then you do have to put those people in different buckets. What was your driver during when you started, working door to door? What was the pusher? What was the motivator in that?
I wanted to make money. I want to make money. And then now it's like, I like doing deals. And I get the insurance company to pay for roofs. And 50% of the work that I do here in Utah starts with an initial denial from the insurance company. So I've taken several people to $0 payouts to 20,000 plus. And I think that's awesome. That's cool. The tool that you've been paying for thousands of dollars for all of these years. And the insurance companies are ridiculous. Of course they don't want to pay you money. Like, you're going to trust the guy who owes you money to tell you how much they owe you. It's like, no, like, let's go get your money. They owe you money for a new roof. So I like doing deals. And like now it's like, I want to help other people do the same, because I really enjoy it. Like, people ask me what I do for fun. I'm like, I don't know. I work. Like I like going to the gym, and like, I like going out, eating new restaurants and doing and experiences, but I like doing deals, and I want to help people do the same, and then build up a team and develop more people to be in my shoes.
So you said the key thing, help people.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing that I think people need to understand, is that you want to help people. The money is the by factor of what you're doing. You just want to help people get what they're owed or what is due to them or whatever. You want to help them create a better house for themselves, make sure their roof is taken care of. And if it is insurance, they should pay. You're right. We pay them an astronomical amount of money for them to not want to do anything for us. It's ridiculous. I don't even want to talk about insurance.
I do.
Yeah.
I do love that, because I have a lot of conversations with a lot of guys, and they're high performers, and they always say, I'll have conversations. Sometimes somebody that hasn't been a high performer or made a lot of money, they'll say, oh, I'm doing it for X, just, I don't know, to help my mom or to help my family. But the true driver sometimes was the money. And I think so many people shy away from that. Like, oh, like, I don't want to make, I don't want to say that I want to make money because all of a sudden now I'm a bad person. I've heard that. And I grew up under that perception for a long time too. That I thought, if I wanted to make money is something that I'm for some reason a bad person. So I love that you hit on that, but also, you know, how it changes over time, and it should change, right? At some point you make money, but there's also other factors behind it that are like, I want to help this person. I want to, you know, better my life, whatever it might be. There's always bigger goals and bigger dreams that should attach to that should motivate you or push you to do something. So I love, did you ever have that, you know, I guess thought of like, okay, because obviously you said you started for money. I want to make a lot of money. I want to, you know, live my life. You were obviously young. I mean, at a young age, that's all I wanted to do was make money, chase girls, and drive fast cars. That's what I wanted to do.
Minus the chase girls, I still want to do it. Got the girl. Need the cars.
So at my young age, that's what I was doing. So, yeah, dude, like looking at that, like what now, where you're at now, what's like the next driver? Like what's today, if you're like outside of money and helping others, is something else that you're like, this is my next goal. This is really what I'm pushing for. Is there something there?
There are lots of things.
Yeah.
Lots of things. Like right now, I still feel I'm in the building phase. Like I really want to get into real estate. Like I want to build a portfolio. Like I want to buy the cars, the boats, all of the things. And I still have a ways to go.
Yeah.
But I think my main driving factor is like, I just want to be the best that I can be. Like why? And I think like it's mind boggling to me that people don't want, like, and like, why wouldn't you want to be the best? Like in who you are, and not like just, I want to be the best version of me, and the best version of me has all of that stuff. So I'm like, that's what I'm going for. Like I'm here living this life. Like why would I not want to be the greatest and have all of the things?
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good words there. Outside of the ayahuasca, the gym, the cold plunges, is there anything else you do to help your mental state and physical state?
I've inconsistently been running the last couple months, like a couple miles here, like nothing crazy, which I've enjoyed. Like especially like on Sundays, if I'm just like thinking of all the things I want to do, like I just sometimes like, okay, whatever, and I'll just go run. So I do the sauna. I've been writing down to like, I'll write down like 10 goals that I have this year. Like if I go and get in the sauna in the morning, I'll write those down. I mean, but yeah, those are the main things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed that you're 22 and this mindset. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because you've had such a powerful leader of your dad, but it's just crazy. It's
a lot of kudos to you for choosing to be this person, because you can always hear the other example of where, you know, people could choose to, you know, whatever, they'll look at it from a negative light or whatever, but you choose to be the leader that you want to be, the person that you want to be. And you've chosen a lot of the things that are happening for you now. You're choosing that for yourself. And it sounds like, you know, do you, I want to ask this because I know we've talked about it, and it kind of is along the same lines. Do you do a lot of self-care for yourself? Is the gym self-care for you? Is the cold plunge self-care for you? What is it that you do for yourself that you're like, I take time for myself to take care of myself right now? Because you're young. I mean, do you have a girlfriend or anything like that?
Massages. I mean, anything like that.
Shoot guns. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll go. I've been wanting to go and shoot for the last like 3 months and just haven't gone.
Oh,
so
gotta go out.
That's one. But no, I've gone and got massages occasionally, like even from playing rugby and stuff, and just working out. They're like through my back, so I'll occasionally go and get a massage. But yeah, mainly through the gym, and a lot of. Well, that's an interesting question too, because you can look at anything that you do and choose to be doing that for yourself. Even if I go and get a new client, like, oh, I'm doing this for me, because this is gonna, like, I'm taking this time to help you, but also this is helping me. But mainly when I have those moments of appreciation and dedicated to myself is like, if I'm gonna go, like I like going out to breakfast, like on the weekends, like or brunch, like okay, yeah, this meal's for me. Like, this is for me. I'll do little things like that, and while I'm still in my building phase, but like it will be trips. It will be
Yeah.
buying this car, this whatever. Like I'd rather build up and then just do like larger things in the future.
But you use those little things. They're
Yeah.
like these little milestones that you're like, that's a reward for me. That's or what? Not a reward, but that's I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for me. That's cool.
Well, and even I would even say on the weekends, because like I don't go out like Friday, Saturday night. I'll be in bed around 10, and it's like this is for me, for my rest, so I can keep going and go and get it and do more work and work through it. And I think that I just said that, and I'm picturing people be like, oh, I love working. I really appreciate it and I like it, and it's something that I like to do. So that's I could do that for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's
It's not a bad thing.
yeah, definitely
Yeah.
not. In today's, I mean, even dudes my age, like, they just want to sit at home and watch TV and I don't know, play video games. I don't know.
I'll watch TV sometimes.
And that's cool and
yeah.
everything, but I mean, I don't know. If you like to work, that's what you like to do. That feels good, and it feels good to you. You know what I mean? Everybody's life isn't for everybody else. It's for whatever works for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and it's where your happiness. Obviously, you're happy doing the job you're doing. You're helping people. You're taking a burden off of people. So obviously, that to me, that would give me a huge relief. So I can see why you love working. I can see why you love going every day, taking care of people, helping people, going to, St. Louis to help these people that have gone through a tragedy or might just need help with their roof. I can see why you would love that. Mm-hmm. So I would never feel bad about that because you're happy doing it.
Yeah.
You're helping somebody. And to me, that's a huge thing. I mean, that's part of the reason we started this whole thing was to help people. Not only to help ourselves, but to help people. And people like you coming on, sharing these stories, proving to anybody out there that 22-year-old, I mean, even all the way back to 15, you can have these mindsets and you can make changes. Because you very well could have just started really acting out when your parents got divorced, started being a quote-unquote terrible person, but you chose to look at the bright side of things. Well, they're happier now. Mm-hmm. I'm happier now. The family's happier now. You chose that, which is huge. So once again, I'm proud of you. I don't know you, but I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
well, the last thing, and as you said, you listened to a few of them. What do you have to challenge these guys with?
I would challenge everybody to sit with your. Let's see. I have it. Just got to put together the words.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're
No
good.
worries.
I would challenge everybody to see their own capability and their own the true power that everybody has. Like, everybody's in the driver's seat and most people have it on cruise control. Like, you are in control of everything and anything, and you can drive that car wherever you want. So I would challenge everybody to sit with it and think and really, really ponder on the moments that you have, that you can make adjustments and strive for more and look at what's next, and just feel the excitement for it, for everything that you're capable of.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming out.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time.
Yep. Yeah, thank you for coming out, man. I appreciate
sure
you sitting
thing.
down
Thank
with
you
us
guys for
and
having
driving
me
out
out.
here and sharing a little bit about your story. And yeah, thanks for everything that you're doing. And yeah, like you said, man, you're young. I don't know you, but yeah, keep doing your thing, man. I'm sure you'll go miles, way than most. And I'm excited to see where you go, man. So that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.
The round table podcast where we talk to our personal growth, struggles and journey.